Well, good evening, everybody. David Clews broadcasting live here from the UNN studios. I hope everybody is well. I hope they've had a busy couple of days. As ever, what we will do for the first 30 minutes or so is we will cover just general events. And then after that, we will move over just to DLive and also Rumble. And I'll go into everything a wee bit more deeply there. I've got a few things I want to talk about tonight. And we will get into that. Hello, Catherine. Hello, Pandora. It is nice to see you all. I hope everybody is good. So we're live at the moment across, wait for it, DLive, Rumble, YouTube, DLive, Rumble, YouTube, X, and Facebook. So there you go. If you haven't already, please be sure to come over and join us on Rumble. That's where you can also re-watch all of our shows if you miss it. If you haven't already, please smash the thumbs up button. Please. All right, the video quality is poor. Right, okay. Let me see if I can fix that. Give me 2 seconds. Settings. I know, maybe I shouldn't do it in, what's the word? 2010. Let me see this high definition. Let's see if that works. Is that any better? Let me see. Let me see. Sometimes it can just be the old internet isn't always the best. That can be it. No, that looks worse actually, doesn't it? I think it's maybe to do with the internet. Just bear with me 2 seconds. I'll just do a couple of things and it might solve it. Broadcasting live is not as easy as it looks. Just because I make it look easy doesn't that it can be done. So let me see. That should be a bit better there. Let's hope that's a wee bit better. We'll just go and check. Give me 2 minutes. Anyway, once I've got the recordings up, you'll be able to see a bit about this. So let me see that. Voice out of sync. Sound is clear. Sound is clear. Let me see. How does it look over on Rumble? Oh, it's pretty rotten. Frozen now. Yep, 77th on the case. I think it's because I'm streaming in 180p as well. Right, what I might do is no, but then that really stops it. Let me see. Camera. Recording. Oh, keys. Right, I'll maybe drop it from 1080p. Anyway, let's just get into it. See if this is slightly better when I actually put up what I'm going to show you. Give me 2 minutes. Let's see if that's any better. It's probably because I'm streaming across all of those platforms. That's maybe why it's just too much. The sound is fine. The picture is low res. Yeah, that's probably why. It's probably why. It's because I'm over on all those different places. So I might actually just shut them. I might shut it down. Nice to see you, Roboy. I hope you are well. Anyway, let me see how that looks when I share this. Let me see if that's any better. Or I think that's what it might be. Can we have some Jacob Rees-Mogg impressions, please? You have to pay for those, I'm afraid. Jacob Rees-Mogg costs money. So let's see if that's any better when we do that. Give me 2 seconds. Let me actually just check on the stream. To get Jacob, I should do a cameo. If you want Jacob Rees-Mogg, you have to pay for it. Let me see if that's any better. Give me 2 seconds. I'll just check on Rumble. Yeah, I think maybe it's to do with the camera because that actually comes up really clear. So I think the problem may be the camera output. I will need to look into that because does that not look a lot better on DLive as well? Let me see. Does it not? Yeah, it does. Oh, flawed but hopeful. Subscribe monthly. Well, thank you, Wendy. That is very generous. And guys, yeah, it's something to do with the camera. I'll fix it in a minute once we stop. Guys, if you haven't already, please consider becoming a regular supporter of UNN. You can click the link. It's only, it's whatever you want. Someone signed up the other day and they're giving a couple of quid a month. And you know what? It all adds up. It's all greatly appreciated. So if you haven't already, please click the link, become a regular supporter, and that is greatly appreciated. We're doing updates throughout the day, articles, everything that we can possibly do. Right, anyway, let's get into it. Ceasefire comes into force as IDF pulls out of parts of Gaza. The Israeli military says it's partially withdrawn troops from parts of Gaza after a ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas came into effect. I thought you couldn't negotiate with terrorists, but obviously there's a lot of negotiations underway. So this is a bit of Al Jazeera.
So as we've been reporting, the Israeli military appears to be withdrawing its troops to agreed areas in Gaza. For now, Israeli forces control all areas up to the blue line that you can see on the screen. Once the war is ended, under the U.S. 20-point plan, then Israeli forces are to withdraw to this line in yellow to prepare for the release of Israeli captives. Then, after all the planned requirements have been met and an international stabilization force deployed, Israeli forces are to move further back to the red line. Next, the Israeli military is to progressively move towards the border with Israel, according to an agreement to be made with a transitional authority. Israeli forces would then continue to maintain a security buffer zone inside Gaza's borders, including its crossing with Egypt. Let's bring in Yossi Belin.
So they already did have it. Look, I don't want to overly talk about that tonight. It's certainly dominating the headlines. You know what these things are like. They last 5 minutes and then everybody starts fighting one another 10 minutes later as well. So that's the situation that we find ourselves in. And, you know, anything that just stops the killing. There's been a lot of very needless killing, a lot of very sad, tragic deaths. And you just hope it stops. Thank you, Sporty Oxford, as ever, for the support. It is greatly appreciated. So let's just move on as well. This was a sad bit of news. I don't normally get involved in sports or the more popular stuff, but Ricky Hatton has died, and you know, by all accounts, like, it's not been fully confirmed yet, but it was, you know, he took his own life, and there was a lot of people there at the funeral. The great and the good of the boxing world were among those that were out to wave off Ricky Hatton. Fury, Wayne Rooney and his wife there as well. And it just shows you all the money in the world doesn't always bring happiness. And yeah, I mean, as I said, I you know me in sport, I don't get overly into it. But Ricky Hatton, I never thought was a bad guy. So that's sad to see. Very sad for his family as well. A man has been found guilty of threatening to kill Nigel Farage. This gentleman also has what looks like an AK-47 tattooed onto his right cheek. I mean, it's not necessarily a red flag, I suppose. The jury heard how Fayaz Khan, an Afghan migrant, had made the threat in a video. A man to the UK who came to the UK on a small boat has been found guilty of threatening to kill Nigel Farage. Fayaz Khan posted a video last October where he named the Reform UK leader and made a gun gesture with his hand. Khan had a very large presence online with his videos on TikTok, under the username Madapasa, amassing hundreds of thousands of views. Prosecutor Peter Ratcliffe said Khan's videos showed his attempts to come to the UK by small boat from Afghanistan. In October, Farage uploaded a video called The Journey of an Illegal Migrant, which highlighted Khan. Khan then responded, "You not know me. I come to England because I want to marry with your sister. You not more me. Do not talk about me more. Delete the video. I'm coming to England. I'm going to pop, pop, pop." Mr. Ratcliffe told the jury while Khan said pop, pop, pop had made the gun gestures. Khan also pointed towards an AK-47 tattoo on his face to emphasize he wasn't joking. Prosecutor added, if you've got an AK-47 tattooed in your arm and your face, it's because you love AK-47s and you want the world to know that. Farage said, given his proximity to guns and love of guns, I was genuinely worried. I mean, this guy looks like, look, again, I have to interject some I have to interject some commentary here. This guy looks like an aspiring engineer, doctor, lawyer. I mean, clearly, if this man had just been given a chance, he would have been all of those things. You know, we would have looked past those tattoos on his forehead. But, you know, still very, 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 very interesting. Meanwhile, a man who burned the Quran wins his free speech appeal. Hamid Koskun was convicted at Westminster Magistrates Court in June. He shouted abusive comments about Islam as he held the flaming book aloft in Rutland Gardens, Knightsbridge. Mr. Koskun's hearing was attended by Robert Jenrick. Campaigners argued that Mr. Koskun's conviction was akin to blasphemy laws being reintroduced by the back door inadvertently by our court service. Kadri was the gentleman that then went out. They said he was protecting his religion when he went out on the street. So that's what you have, as I said, all these foreign conflicts being played out. And I'll actually show you the video again in case you hadn't seen it. So I think this guy was Turkish. And he went outside the Turkish embassy. I mean, it just kind of shows you the insanity. Yeah, the Free Speech Union did defend him. But I did actually point out, if somebody went to Golders Green and burned a Talmud, would Robert Jenrick be okay with that? Would Lord Young of Acton be okay with that as well?
The man's come out with a knife now. Boss, look here, look.
Go for me.
Look. God, he's got a knife. Go.
Fucking idiot. You fucking idiot. You burn the Quran.
Go. He's got a knife as well.
No.
Oh, you got a knife, man. Come with the
fucking idiot.
Wait, don't come to me.
Go for me.
Listen, I'm just filming,
You
yeah?
burn the Quran.
No, you shouldn't be. Listen.
My religion. You don't burn Quran.
What are you doing? Come on, man. What are you doing? You're standing out in public road with knife. Exactly. What are you doing?
Fucking bullies on the floor! You stand up for him, you fucking bully! Fuck you up!
You don't burn fucking.
He just did. He's done it. Unbelievable. He went into his residence here. He went into here, took a knife, come out, and started attacking him with a
Is
knife.
that AY audits? Yeah, I don't trust a lot of these auditor guys. But anyways, as I've often talked about, when they talk about the civil war in the UK and the civil war narrative, it is more likely that it will be between these ethnic groups and tribal feuds that they've bought. I mean, my position on the Quran burning is, I don't think it should be illegal at all, but I do question the motives of those who are going out and being deliberately provocative. If you go and do, so people talk about freedom of speech. If someone went, I don't know, and say artistic freedom, would you say it's acceptable for someone to go in and, I don't know, defecate on an altar in a church? Because that is clearly, would you not regard that as blasphemous and insulting? Clearly, Muslims are going to be incensed by someone burning a Quran. So if you are doing it, it is an act of deliberate provocation. Likewise, as I point out, if you were to go into Golders Green or North London, any of these places, burn a copy of the Torah, would that be acceptable? Or if you dress up as, Hitler and started goose stepping around a synagogue, would that be acceptable? So all these people who go on about, well, it's free speech, well, it's this. Well, clearly, I think everybody knows if you do behave in certain ways, there are ramifications for it. And as I say, these people, when they do it, they're not necessarily doing it because they care about this country or they care about us. They're doing it because of some internal foreign feud. Shout out to Peter. Peter, thank you so much for the support. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you very, very, very much. Yeah, and I mean, there was the other guy that did it as well. And the guy, of course, was a big Israel supporter. So, as I said, a lot of the people that do it are clearly doing it to deliberately stage a provocation. They want something to happen. And then when something does happen, I mean, it's quite an interesting... It's quite an interesting way of doing things. Let me see that audio. Microsoft testing. It's quite an interesting way of doing things that people go out, ask things to happen, then they become the victim. It's like people will often tell you why these things... No, they will tell you what has happened to them, but they will never tell you why. In that situation. Lady Babe Biker says, this was in public, not in a private building in church synagogue. Yes, very true, but it was outside the embassy. But if you did that outside a synagogue, what do you think would happen to you? I mean, you'd probably get shot. You know, armed Shom Rim or armed police would come out. Anyway, let's move on. I am interjecting. Maria Corina Machado wins Nobel Peace Prize, Venezuelan opposition leader. Remember Juan Guaido, who was the guy who was supposed to be the next hero of the revolution? He's certainly gone adrift. Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado has been awarded the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize. She was hailed by the Nobel Committee as one of the most extraordinary examples of civilian courage in Latin America in recent times. She's campaigned against Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, whose 12-year rule is viewed as illegitimate. Donald Trump missed out of it as well. This is her when she was awarded it. But it's interesting because I'm going to explain to you why she won it early.
So the warmest congratulations to you, Maria.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, I have no words.
So Maria had no words. Meanwhile, Afshin Ratanzi shared this. Venezuela's election loser has won the Nobel Peace Prize. If we win, we will move the Venezuelan embassy to Jerusalem in order to support Israel.
Maria Corina Machado, gracias. Thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you, and we'll stay in touch. And I promise one day we'll have a close relationship between Venezuela and Israel. And I believe, and I can announce this, that our government will move our Israeli embassy to Jerusalem. That will be part of our support to the state of Israel.
Wow, in God's will. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Inshallah, as they say. Now, again, the question is why the interest in that? Well, Venezuela is very, very resource rich, largest offshore deposits of oil in the world. Thank you, Sporty Oxford, for subscribing monthly. And it's the sort of Claudia Scheinbaum in Mexico, Javier Milei in Argentina, and now they're trying to put this puppet in as well in Venezuela. So be very, 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 very wary, I would say, of anyone who wins these prizes. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Nicolas Maduro. I think Hugo Chavez actually did try and do some good stuff for the people of Venezuela. I don't agree with socialism, but I think he did have the interests of the Venezuelan people at heart. But it was all built on nonsense. It would never have added up. It would never have worked. So, guys, just to get some of the numbers, we've got about 800 watching across all the different platforms. That's fantastic. As I said, we will cut the show off soon and just go to Rumble and D Live, but we do try and do these updates. This is an incredible story if you haven't actually seen it, but I think it's very important in light of the modern world that we live in. The stabbing of the Social Democratic Mayor Iris Stalzer. Let's have a watch of this in case you haven't actually seen it yet. Let's have a wee watch of this and we'll elaborate a wee bit more on what's going on.
Breaking news from here in Germany. A newly elected city mayor is reported to be in a life-threatening condition in hospital after being found with multiple stab wounds. Iris Stalzer is the...
Yeah, I know there's something wrong with the camera. I'll fix it tomorrow. I think when I log off some of the channels, it will get better. But as long as you can see the videos, that's fine.
Social Democratic mayor of Herdecke. That's in the western state of North Rhine-Westphalia. She was elected to the position only days ago. It's not yet known who the assailant or assailants were, or if the stabbing has a political background. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz has condemned what he called a heinous act. And for more, I'm now joined by our political correspondent, Matthew Moore. Matthew, is there anything else that you can tell us?
Gerhard, it's regrettable to say that we don't have a police statement yet. So we're really working from reports from the area, a lot of media reports that are developing. What we do know is that police were called to a residential address around lunchtime where they found a 57-year-old woman that we understand is Iris Stalzer, the newly elected mayor of Herdecke in North Rhine-Westphalia. There was elections at the end of September and she was successful in those elections. And the police found her with a number of stab wounds at the scene. She has been airlifted to hospital and she has sustained life-threatening injuries and is being treated. You can imagine a huge police presence in the area, Gerhard. We understand, according to images, that two of her children were at the scene as well, and her son apparently has alleged or reportedly told police that she was attacked. She told him she was attacked by people outside the home there, the family home. However, we've also seen images of what appears to be a young man taken away by police, and so he's in custody. But as I say, we don't have a police update, so we're unable to say a lot that is on the record and concrete and verified. I have to stress as well, we've heard that the Chancellor, Friedrich Merz, has sent a message of saying that he hopes that she makes a swift recovery and that the details around this incident are clarified very quickly.
Thank you very much, Matthew Moore, and we bring you all more details as soon as we get them.
So here's the thing. They were basically salivating at the thought this was like some far-right attack. Okay? Chilling new details revealed. After mayor is allegedly stabbed and seriously wounded by her teenage daughter. Mayor-elect Iris Stalzer was left fighting for her life after being stabbed on Tuesday, October 7th. Iris Stalzer told police she was stabbed by her teenage daughter. She was kept in her basement for an extended period of time, during which she was tormented and stabbed 13 times. She suffered several hematomas and fractures to her skull. New details have emerged after it was reported she was stabbed by her teenage daughter. People would say, well, that sounds terrible. What's she ever done to her daughter? She was recently elected as the new mayor of Herdecke, Western Germany, 10 miles south of Dortmund. They discovered the victim injured sitting in a chair. Doctors alleged found 13 stab wounds, several hematomas. She was tormented for hours by her daughter. The outlet noted that the victim had been stabbed with 2 knives, adding that attempts had been made to remove blood-stained evidence from the scene, according to authorities. The fact she called emergency services herself means the act may be classified as grievous bodily harm and not as attempted homicide. German outlet also noted the conflict between the mother and daughter lasted for an extended period. The suspect is believed to have set fire to her mother's hair with a deodorant spray. A knife and bloody clothes were then allegedly found in a backpack belonging to Stelzer's 15-year-old son. Focus reported, while Bild noted that the clothing is believed to have belonged to the politician's daughter. So, who is the politician's daughter? What went wrong in this family? Well, our daughter doesn't perhaps have a traditional, one might say, Germanic look about her. Martin Sellner, socialist mayor, was tortured for hours by her African adoptive daughter. She barely survived. Her only pic available is old. She's now 17. She will probably not go to prison. So that is her adopted African daughter. Gav Kellen says, I've never heard about this. Well, Gav, this is why you watch UNN, and I think this is why people do support and value the work we do at UNN. As I said, if you do believe in the work that we do, please consider becoming a regular UNN supporter. It starts from as little as 20 pence per month, or whatever you want. It can be £1 a month, £2 a month if you want. So there you go. Stabbed to death, nearly tortured by her adopted African daughter. Perhaps a salutary lesson that might be needed there. Anyway, Zero Hedge. JP Morgan requires staff to hand over biometric data to access new headquarters. And there's some slightly more about it. JP Morgan staff told they must share biometric. This is like, remember we spoke about before about Gattaca? This is very Gattaca-esque as well, about the situation where you will have to hand over your biometric data. And that is the sort of dystopia we are heading towards, because they do want all that information off you. And thing is, with the digital ID, I mean, I've got to be honest, see, everyone that's saying they're going to defeat it, we're not going to do it, it's going to be a really tough one. It's going to be slightly different from the jabs. So it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I don't know how people are going to get around it. Nigel Farage has said, send me to prison, blah, 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 and they're all saying it. But as I point out, I think you find the masses of people will do it. And the thing is, it is different from the jabs, because there was a way you could not get that. But again, biometric, I'm just being honest with you. Like, they're all out, yeah, we'll defeat this. Yeah, we'll do it all. I'm honestly not so sure about it. I think it's a really, really tough one. And then the example I would use is like a passport or a driving license. I mean, people didn't used to use passports. People didn't used to have driving licenses. But now there's these things. And yeah, most people will, when push comes to shove, take it. And that's a big problem. Clearly, I won't be getting one. I would suggest no one gets one. And we all hold out for as long as we can. But overall, I think it's going to be an exceptionally tough one. Anyway, guys, thank you so much to everyone for tuning in. We're going to be over on Rumble now for the rest of the show. So I'm going to put the Rumble link there on YouTube. So please click that. Join us over there. Same goes on X or Facebook. Please find us on Rumble, and we will see you all there. So good night to everybody on X and also Rumble. So let me just remove that from there. And let me just remove Facebook here as well. And let me just remove YouTube as well.